Should you really be thinking about buying a home right now? I mean, with everything that's going on, it's hard to predict what's going to happen in the future, right? Will the real estate market stay active, or are we eventually headed into another recession? If those are the kind of thoughts running through your head right now, don't worry, I got you covered. In today's video, I'm going to cover the important question, should you think about buying a home right now? Stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Welcome to my channel where I go over all things involving buying and selling real estate. For those who don't know me, my name is Rob Bailey and I'm a realtor here in the Chicagoland area with Arnie Realty Inc. And today I'm going to go over the all-important question, even with everything going on, should I buy a home right now? If you're thinking about buying a home right now, there are a few factors that you need to think about in order to make your decision. For most people, buying a home is going to be one of the biggest investments that they make over their lifetime, so it's important that you get this decision right. It's even more important to think about that decision today, given everything that's going on in the world and how crazy things have been lately and how crazy things are most likely going to get in the future. So stay tuned with me and I'm going to give you some things to think about as far as if you should consider buying a home right now. Also, make sure to like and subscribe so you can get notified on when I make more real estate content in the future. First, let's talk about how the real estate market is doing right now. In Chicago, it is a very heavy seller's market, which means there are a lot of buyers out there looking for homes and not a lot of homes available for sale. So, if you were thinking about buying a home, trust me, you aren't the only one. The reason there are so many buyers is that interest rates are at historic lows. That means mortgages are now cheaper than ever, and there are people out there who can now afford homes when they couldn't afford them in the past. Since mortgages are so much cheaper now, people are running out there trying to take advantage of these low interest rates by snatching up whatever homes they can while the conditions are still favorable for them. If you're wondering why interest rates are so low in the first place, look no further than the pandemic that's happening right now. The government is actually trying to keep the interest rates as low as possible to encourage buyers to keep going out there and buying and to make sure that the economy doesn't crash like it did in 2009. Now that we know what's going on in the real estate market, let's dive a little bit deeper into the question of whether you should think about buying a home right now. The short answer is, it all depends on why you're looking to buy a home. So first, let's think about some of the motivations you have behind looking to buy a home in the first place. What is the real motivation for you thinking about moving and buying a home in the first place? According to a survey done by the National Association for Realtors, the biggest reason people think about buying a home is to live near or closer to their friends and family. Other reasons include relocating for a job and looking to buy a bigger home because of their growing family. Or maybe your reasoning has more to do with money. Maybe you're starting to realize that you're paying a lot of money in rent and you're getting nothing for that money. Now you've been hearing about how cheap mortgage rates are and you're starting to figure out that it might be the same cost for you to just simply pay the mortgage and own the home rather than paying your landlord. If any of those reasons resonates with you, then now is actually a perfect time for you to buy a home. And the reason is because, like I said before, interest rates are so cheap. It's easier and more affordable for you to buy a home now than it ever was, so why not take advantage of it? If you're worried about the real estate market crashing because of the pandemic, I wouldn't put If you're worried about the real estate market crashing because of the pandemic, I really wouldn't put too much thought into it, in my opinion. If you think about it, we've been in the pandemic for almost 7 months. I mean, as I'm recording this, it's toward the end of October, and the pandemic started towards March. If the real estate market were to crash, it would have done so by now, but instead, it's actually getting stronger because of the buyer demand. So, I would put that worry out of your mind. In my opinion, the market is going to keep going strong for some time. This isn't the best market for all buyers who are looking for homes, however. For instance, say your main motivation for looking for a home is that you are looking to find a bargain, or you are looking to find a deal or something you can buy 60-70% on the dollar. If that's the case, then now is actually a pretty bad time for you to start looking for homes, and I'll give you 2 reasons why. First It's a bad time because prices are actually increasing and have been steadily increasing ever since the pandemic started. As I mentioned in the previous video, prices in the Chicagoland area for single-family homes are actually up for over 5%. So it's going to be pretty hard for you to find the deal when prices on all the homes are steadily increasing. And that's all the homes, from the newly fixed up homes to the foreclosed homes to the homes that need a gut rehab. So it's going to be hard for you to look for a deal when prices all across the board are increasing. The second reason is because there is a lot of competition out there for homes and not a lot of homes for sale. Ever since the interest rates were lowered, buyers came all out of the woodwork looking to buy homes and looking to buy whatever home they can get their hands on because they now have the money to do so. So they're looking to take advantage of the times while they can. The more competition there is out there, the harder it's going to be for you to find a bargain, because nowadays whatever price the seller puts out there, they have a good chance of getting it just because there's going to be so much competition for that house. So if you're out there trying to look for a deal and try to make lowball offers, you're going to have a hard time getting them accepted. Now that you've thought about exactly why you want to buy a home in the first place, the next thing you need to think about is how much of a mortgage that you actually want to pay, or how much you can actually afford. Just because mortgages are cheap now does not mean that you should go out and get the biggest mortgage that you possibly can. Because if you do that, you may end up struggling to pay that mortgage in the future, and we can end up right back in the financial crisis of 2009. You can do this by creating a budget and deciding how much you want to pay for a mortgage. A good general rule is that your mortgage should be no more than 25% of your gross monthly income, or in other words, your income before taxes. Also, don't forget to factor in the other costs that come with owning a home, such as the utilities and maintenance repairs that are eventually going to come up. Once you do this, you can come up with a number and be better prepared to know exactly how much you can afford or how much you want to pay when it comes to mortgage. Once you do this, then you're ready for the next step. Once you know exactly how much of a monthly mortgage you want to spend, now's a good time to speak with the lender and start talking about how much of a mortgage you can afford. Simply let the lender know that you're looking to buy a home, and they'll start going over your income as well as your credit, and they'll let you know how much of a mortgage they'd be willing to lend you. Now that you have that information from the lender, now you're better equipped to actually answer that question that you've been thinking about the entire time, which is, should you think about buying a home right now? So to clear this up, here is my suggestion. If you get the numbers back from the lender and they look good to you and it's something you can afford, then by all means, go after it. Go after that dream home. Conditions are really good right now and interest rates are cheap, so take advantage of it while you still can. If the numbers don't work out for you, then hey, no harm, no foul. Now you don't have to worry about what could have been or what should have been. And for those who are really just looking for a really cheap deal or to get a home for 50 or 60 cents on the dollar, it may be good for you to wait this one out, because you might just end up wasting a lot of your time. Alright guys, those are my thoughts on whether you should think about buying a home right now. Any questions or comments, please feel free to leave a comment below or reach out to me at my website, which is BaileyAcresProperties.com. Once again, I'm Rob Bailey, realtor in the Chicagoland area with Arnie Realty Inc. Thanks a lot guys, have a good day. Play that music!